Hi, I'm Tom Field, Senior Vice President of Editorial with Information Security Media Group. I'm talking about fraud, machine learning, artificial intelligence. My pleasure to be speaking with an old friend, Ricardo Villadiego. He's now the EVP and GM Secure and Fraud with Cyxtera. Ricardo, it's such a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure to be here, Tom.
So we always talk about fraud, and you see some of the most sophisticated and dangerous schemes that any organization does. What are some of the trends that really have your notice now?
I think, unfortunately, we are seeing a lot of these wild activities going on in the internet, right? We see this along the evolution of the fraud cycle. We see a lot of phishing attacks. Yes, it is 2018, and there's tons of phishing attacks affecting enterprises and banks around the world. And I think it's just becoming pervasive. 91% of the attacks start with a phishing incident. So it's a big problem. We see a lot of malware, self-spreading malware affecting banks around the world, and we do not believe this is going to end anytime soon. So organizations need to put a focus on how to identify these bad behaviors. We're also seeing this malware affecting the way criminals bypass authentication. So authentication is clearly one of the top concerns of enterprises and banks out there.
So artificial intelligence and machine learning, we hear a lot about those. You can't go anywhere without hearing about them these days. Talk to me about practical applications to help to fight fraud.
Well, we're seeing a lot of great effects of artificial intelligence and machine learning. It definitely helps us to identify faster neo attacks. It helps with increasing the detection of new fraud techniques. It also helps to improve and enhance risk-based authentication, definitely. I think that is all good. I think where the industry is missing the ball is in the fact that these techniques are also available for the bad guys.
Sure.
Right? We, as security practitioners, tend to believe that the evolution is only happening on the good side, but it's also occurring on the bad side. And you will be surprised if you download our latest report on artificial intelligence versus artificial intelligence, which we are launching here at the RSA conference. We had our experts in the field to simulate a bad actor, an adversary, using artificial intelligence and machine learning to bypass some of the techniques that are out there. And you will be surprised by the results. I encourage you and the audience to download this asset.
Excellent. Now, Ricardo, people that are familiar with you and I associate you with Easy Solutions, but your company Easy Solutions was acquired by Cyxtera recently. What's your new role within this organization?
Well, thank you for the question. We were very glad to joining Cyxtera. I think while I was building total fraud protection and selling and positioning this concept among some of the largest wars in the world today, I was also tempted by jumping into the traditional enterprise security, mainly because I know the space. I'm familiar with the space from my time at Internet Security Systems. We knew that some of the assets that we had at Easy Solutions were capable to fix some of the biggest problems that enterprises have today, like authentication, like the way to identify attacks that are no longer coming into the perimeter, but are outside in the wild on the internet. But we were missing one piece, and that one piece that we were missing is a way to effectively deploy security towards the endpoint, towards the user within the enterprise. We're getting that with Cyxtera through the acquisition of Crypson, and we now have a technology that's called AppGate SDP, and that technology, I truly believe, is going to revolutionize the security industry.
Well, I have to ask you about that now. SDP, AppGate, tell me about that quickly.
Well, in a nutshell, SDP is a technology that enables one-to-one connections It basically connects an endpoint and a persona behind that endpoint exclusively with the network access that they need to, with everything else being invisible. So it's just a new way to deploy security.
So everyone brings in a new way, and it's going to revolutionize the industry. Why do you believe that SDP AppGate will live up to its promise?
I think enterprises have the unique opportunity to reinvent the way they are deploying security. I think if you look at the digital transformation, everything has changed. The way enterprises consume IT today is totally different to the way they did it back in the 90s. But along this evolution, the security practitioners continue to deploy security in a way that assumes that we're still living in a world of perimeters. The truth and the fact is that perimeters don't exist anymore. So why deploying security in that way while you have the opportunity, the unique opportunity to deploy security in such a way where you can have perimeters of one for every employee and for every third party that is accessing your network. I think if you ask network engineers and security engineers today, if they want to deploy security the way they're doing it today, using firewalls and VPNs and NAC technologies, versus the unique opportunity to deploy perimeters of one for every specific endpoint and end user in the organization, the answer would be an absolute yes. I want to go to that new way of deploying security.
Excellent. Ricardo, I wish you well in your new role. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tommy. It's always a pleasure to be here.
I've been talking with Ricardo Villadiego. He's the EVP and GM Secure and Fraud with Cyxtera. For Information Security Media Group, I'm Tom Field. Thank you very much.